Welcome back to my channel. And today, right now, I just want to play a little game before we start this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to present two images relatively of the same thing, and you're going to guess which one was taken with film or Digicam. For some of you, this is going to be a really easy exercise, but I thought we'll just have a little fun today in this video. If you answered that correctly, congratulations. Wow! So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to kind of do a comparison between a film photo versus a Digicam photo. I'm also going to be sharing you which cameras I used. I used 3 cameras in total, and the settings that I use for all of my cameras, well, really the Digicams. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Monica and I'm a photographer based in New York City. Welcome, nice to meet you. Digicams are making a huge comeback lately, and I kind of just wanted to test out if it's comparable with film photos. It's just I've used it for so long. I mentioned it in my previous video that I've always used my Digicams, whether I have my high-tech mirrorless camera or whether I'm using a medium format camera. I always have a Digicam with me. This was shot with my Minolta Twin 28 camera. The reason why I used a point and shoot camera for this test is because these Digicams are point and shoot. And I also wanted to use a 400 ISO film. It's not experimental, it's just 100% neutral film. So Ultramax was the best film for this comparison. For the Digicam, I used a Kodak Digicam. So this is the Kodak EasyShare C743, 7.1 megapixels, y'all. Can't even remember the last time our phones were 7 megapixels, let alone a digital camera.
Congrats on being millennial.
So the reason why I use a Kodak Digicam is because I wanted the colors to be as close to a Kodak film. Like a Kodak film simulation, I'm sure is embedded in this camera since they are the makers of this Digicam. So I kind of just wanted to be as fair as possible with this comparison. I also used my Sony ZV-1 camera. So this is one of my faves. It's super cool. Slide it to open, and it's completely touchscreen. I don't really like the touchscreen, to be honest. It's kind of annoying. This one is 16.2 megapixels. We went to Roosevelt Island for these photos, and it was like 28 degrees.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
It was really, really cold, and my friend Rosie is such a trooper. One of my most favorite people to shoot with because she's just down for whatever. Within reason, of course. Okay. Before we go on, the settings. The settings for this camera that I use, I have it under scene. I made it so it's in sport. So what it does is it actually makes the shutter speed a little bit faster. I also did no flash because when you do it on auto, it just kind of flashes whenever it feels like it. For the Sony, I have it on program mode, and I set this camera for a fixed ISO of 400. I feel like it's a fair comparison to the Kodak Ultramax.
here. She's taking off her jacket again. I am letting her make the call on this. Just so you know, I'm not torturing her. She's deciding this.
Oh, that's okay. Take yourself.
My thoughts on using Digicams. I don't think it will completely replace film. That was the intention when Digicams were created. They're more convenient. They're a safer choice than wasting rolls and rolls of film, all this money. And I feel like the resurgence of Digicams is the effect of the prices going up for not just the films itself, but also like getting them developed, scanned, even the chemicals to develop them yourself. Yes, it's good for business for people like me who are not entirely bothered by the film prices because I will forever shoot film.
Scared half to death.
There are people who are looking for alternatives, and I think the Digicams are kind of giving them that solution because it's still producing very nostalgic images, and I feel like a lot of people went back to film for the nostalgia. I don't know if Digicams are gonna go away anytime soon, to be honest with you. I personally have a blast using Digicams all the time. I've had my Nikon Coolpix since 2005. Here are some samples of the photos that I've taken. Really no comparison. You can't compare it.
Not one bit.
Maybe the only way you can compare it is if you use flash for like portrait or just like anything else. When you use a flash on like a point and shoot film camera, it kind of has that same look. That's pretty much the only aesthetic that I can say that's very comparable. But I feel like everything else, even how my Kodak handled highlights, this photo was so overexposed. It was actually embarrassingly overexposed, and there's like no going back from it. To compare it with the film is just not even close.
What is it like seeing this right now?
Shit, you tell me.
I'm just hearing a lot of buzz about Digicams replacing film, and I just don't think it's even close. Not just with the end result, but also the process, the feeling of shooting it too. It's very different. You don't see things as precious as you would if you're shooting film. I'm pretty torn. I love Digicams. I just don't think it's enough to replace film. You have to do extra work for a Digicam photo just to make it look like film. I don't think it is comparable. My opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm going to continue to have fun with my Digicams. I have been sharing more videos of my Digicam shots on my Instagram. If you have not yet followed me or checked it out, here is my Instagram. Check it out. I do post on here daily. More reels lately because I have to get with the program. It is what it is. If you have TikTok, you can follow me on TikTok as well. If you're curious and you want to see the rest of my work, here is my website. I also have links to my merch store and my print shop on there. That is it. That's all I have for you guys today. As always, stay cool and stay chill. We'll talk soon.